Good evening, WrestleTalk fans, and welcome to part two of the 900th anniversary episode of Monday Night Raw. That wasn't actually an anniversary at all. Hello again. I'm your host, Joshua Zimmerman, special co host again, Red Dragon of the CWE wrestling roster, CWE, CWE Company at gmail.com, and on Facebook, YouTube, etc., etc. Anybody expecting anything to happen out of this Raw were greatly disappointed. For those who just wanted Monday Night Raw and review, then it was exactly that. They've done weaker anniversaries and put more promotional backing into them. There was good promos and whatnot, but the first thing that kind of disappointed me was you announce in the opening that you're going to have Undertaker versus Bret Hart. Would have been a legendary match, but anybody reading between the lines knew that something was going to happen to those two competitors.
Yep.
And they weren't going to be able to have the main event. But your ass would still be glued for that hour and a half. The letdown wouldn't come until after the ratings came in, because that's how shady Vince is. As long as you're watching the TV, he doesn't care what you're watching in his program. As long as you're still on the USA Network when you're watching it. So they grab at you with Undertaker versus Bret Hart. They have a couple video tributes to Raw recaps and whatnot. And they highlight the NXT invasion with the clear editing of the Daniel Bryan rogue chokeholds that got him fired from the company months ago. So yeah, kind of proving what everyone already knew. You put your tail between your legs and had to have Daniel Bryan come back. Glad to see you eat your words on that one. I don't care, what kind of negotiations there was. He proved that he was good, and there was a lot of feedback and got that done. Wade Barrett comes out,
That guy.
wants to be wants to beat up the Undertaker just because he's Wade Barrett.
I'm what is better.
Undertaker comes out and ends up beating him up. Surprise, surprise.
Undertaker lays him out.
Um, Moving on, Kane and the Undertaker now in the ring. Kane provokes Undertaker, effects with the lighting, last man standing in the ring. Next up, Taker goes against in an unofficial match, it would seem to be. Just comes out at random and takes out the Undertaker, takes out NXT. Winning the fight, you would say. And then NXT retaliates with, conveniently, a 450 splash. Undertaker out for the night. So there goes your main event. A half hour into your Raw. Your main event, gone. The last half hour of your show, gone. Left to be something thrown together. And it was, but they did alright. But we'll get to that. Next, you have Jack Swagger, who I just don't like this guy.
I do, because he can actually wrestle.
He can wrestle, but he's too cocky. The all-American American. I'm like, The Miz and I'm awesome, like, that sticks with you. I'm awesome. Like, you can change it to your name.
Yeah, but look.
And it works.
Yeah, but look. Jack Swagger, all American. That'd be like me. I'd be cocky. If I was that good, I'd be cocky.
No.
You gotta remember, I'm supposed to be the heel of our company anyway.
Yeah, but when you're coming into the big leagues anyway, and I understand you're supposed to hype yourself, but I never liked the characters that came off like, and I think that's the problem, where there isn't characters that you can follow anymore. It's all unbelievable. Like, all of them are rich. All of them come off with these whacked out storylines anymore. It's not like Austin versus the McMahons, where it was wrestler versus establishment.
Like when the Undertaker.
I'm not saying bring back the Attitude Era, but they were storylines that you could follow and they were viable. one guy doesn't agree with his promoter, so he beats up
Yeah.
his promoter.
Isn't that what I'm supposed to do to you the first show?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you're gonna put the there's gonna be a blanket there or a sheet. It's gonna be a big handicap sign. You know? No, I'm kidding. But moving on, Evan Bourne versus Jack Swagger. Um, and I love this guy when they brought him in off of ECW because I thought they were going to do what they did for him in ECW. And he became just another part of Raw, who is Evan Bourne. High flyer, knows what he's doing in the ring. Real good, real confident, comes off real good. Everybody loves him. But the WWE holds him back. And that's what I mean about these 10-year guys. You got Christian, who comes off of ECW and thinks that taking the ring post to the shoulder or to the head is an actual signature move for him. Like, he lets his opponent throw him into the ring post and thinks it's one of his moves because he does it in every match, week after week. And no one's broke it to him that kind of move doesn't send you out with a bang. It makes you look like you don't know what you're doing.
That's besides the point, though.
But maybe he'll be another one that's burnt out on wrestling and has to take a hiatus.
You mean go back to his music? That failed terribly?
Go back to whatever. Surprise, surprise, Jack Swagger over Evan Bourne. Not pushed again, like I said. Swagger's been around enough. Hype up, like it's been mentioned before, and it's actually coming up again. Don't make Raw and SmackDown different. Let them roll into each other again, and you might have something there. When you buy everything and turn your own company into competition, you know that you have nobody else to compete with. We liked it when either the shit that went down on Raw, you had to wait a week, or The Rock got mad and came out on SmackDown and fixed it on SmackDown. Either way, you could follow it show to show, or it rolled in.
Real quick, I have a question. If this was on a pay-per-view, would you pay to watch this match?
No.
No, just watch. Evan Bourne versus John Morrison.
Yeah.
That I would actually...
Or a Jeff Hardy.
Yeah. I'd pay to watch that because it would actually
just
be
to
good.
see it.
Yeah, it would be good. And them actually pushing Evan.
Because those are your down-home guys that know that 44, like, it made me utterly sick to look at the taxes and fees on that and realize I was right. It comes out to a $50 or $60 pay-per-view. And I'm glad I split it. And if you want to do that again, like I said, as long as we split it, like a WrestleMania or something.
Yeah.
But honestly, between the two of us, I don't know. For what you're putting out, do what TNA did in the very beginning, because they're starting to steal ideas off of TNA again. Fucking offer $10 weekly installments, or week-to-week shows, or wait a month and build up all your material if you're just going to have this back and forth stuff. Next is a video clip of the WWE in China where fucking the announcer that's an idiot.
Who?
The announcer that's an idiot. Not Cole, not King.
The little girl?
The fighter. The wrestler that they have commentating with him. I forget.
Santino Marella?
Brain fart.
Huh?
Santino?
The ring announcer, not the wrestler. Anyway, it'll come to me.
Oh, that's
WWE
true.
in China. CM Punk comes out claiming to be better than The Rock. This was actually a good promo, but again, all Raw was a bunch of promos. Claims to be better than The Rock. Great promo for Punk, like I said, rants about poor family values. If you believe in The Rock, gets the crowd going a little bit, hyping you up to thinking that The Rock and Stone Cold might be in the audience. especially when he plays Stone Cold's music and just literally punks out the entire arena. Like everybody thought that since he was bagging on Stone Cold, that Stone Cold was somewhere in the arena, and he literally had the music cued, and it punked the whole crowd out. That was fun. Uh, Refers to Brock Lesnar in the Raw history and says directly, I don't know who that guy was. Because again, Brock Lesnar, oh, I'm a football player. Oh, I'm a wrestler. Oh, I'm burnt out. I'm a football player. Oh, I'm an MMA heavyweight. Like, he went from one evil to a higher. Like, he bitched about, like, maybe it's no traveling, you just show up. But, fucking, that's all it was. Go to TNA. Don't sell out and go to football where you do absolutely nothing.
Or MMA.
I made a paycheck there, but now you're gonna bitch about the bumps of wrestling, but you're gonna let yourself get punched in contact. Like, wrestling has risks, but you're taking these utter contradictions and just putting them out there, brother.
You break your spine.
Or your arm.
Refers to Big Show makes fun of Hulk Hogan. It's now Big Show and CM Punk out there making, kind of doing, showing tribute to Raw and coming out together and just remembering their favorite Raws. Makes fun of Hulk Hogan. Implies that with him being in TNA, they don't consider him to have a present impact. Like, they outright dissed him because they don't think he's important to wrestling anymore. And really ask yourself, is he?
Not really.
Not really. Hulk Hogan said he came to TNA to influence the other guys. He walks around and says brother a lot. I feel real inspired.
The one night, what night was it that I was watching TNA and he was yelling at Ric Flair?
I don't know. He's always yelling at somebody. Angle comes on. Kind of. Correction. Episode 450 highlighted Triple H taking out Angle with the pedigree. And it's now, after all the promos and all the ranting and all the false hopes, it's now your main event. 5-on-5, Nexus versus Jericho, Cena, Orton, Edge, and Sheamus. 5-on-5, da-da-da, back and forth. Edge gets angry. Edge pushes the ref. Edge gets disqualified. 4-on-5. 450 by Gabriel. Cena's pinned. Cena's out. RKO's from all over the place. Randy Orton ahead. Small advertisement for 900th episode while the episode was on. And they bring up a rumor that's actually going to roll into part 3 of this. Because maybe there was more to talk about than I thought. But WWE has announced that they want to unify all the championships by WrestleMania. This coming after you blatantly see that they don't covet the titles like they used to. But we'll do that in part 3. And there's new WWE material available on iTunes for a fee. We'll get into WWE complaining about losing money that probably wasn't even there. We'll get into that because they don't sell a viable product, and the second quarter showed the fans that they admit it, and then they blame it on other things. You're in the way of the light. But all that in part 3, and we'll see you in a minute, guys. Tune in. Peace.